Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm having a year-end review and some revelations, all thanks to these pants. So let's get started. All right, everybody, this is a very long chat. So if you need something to drink or you want to just kind of put play and then walk around running errands or doing whatever you got to do in your house, feel free. You don't really need to stare at my face or this tree for the next 10 or 15 minutes. But I really wanted to talk about these pants first because this is what the catalyst was to really pushing me to change my channel for 2025. These are the J. Crew Factory dark wash trouser pants that I have been praising for the last couple of months. Love these pants, love the fit, love the wash, all of it. Well, that changed a couple of weeks ago. So I've worn these so many times, and full disclosure, I do not wash them for the most part because that's just how I am with my jeans. I think that they last longer if you wash them less. And I believe I washed them one other time, and when I did, it was inside out, cold water, other like clothing items. I did everything right, didn't put them in the dryer, and I didn't notice too much of a change, but I did, however, see, let me show you one spot, something along the lines of this. And at first I thought, oh, that must have been my washing machine. It must have gotten some soap on it. All right, no big deal. So I continued to wear them. Then I had a party at my house a couple of weeks ago, and when I was in, I have very light colored counters, and I do not sit down. So I basically make circles through my kitchen for the entire party. That's just how I operate. And at the end of the night, I kind of finally looked down and realized that there were blue stripes all over my counter edges. So I'm going to insert some footage because I actually recreated it in front of the camera to show you how quickly it happened. Can you see this blue mark on my countertops? That is from the pants. So this does not have the blue mark on it. I'm gonna grab the pants. Here they are. All right, there's the blue mark. I just took them off of the hanger and I'm just gonna rub it on there. Wow, awesome. Can you see that? It literally just rubs off so easily. So that really bothered me, and I really felt like I needed to share that with everyone because I have been singing these pants praises. There's my wet wash rag after scrubbing and scrubbing, and I'm gonna have to keep scrubbing because it's still not coming off 100%. All right, as you can see, that is not fun, and it takes quite a bit of scrubbing to get them off, and I didn't want to use abrasives, so anyway, I was not happy to say the least. So moving forward, I washed them one more time. I thought, okay, what if I can get the color out? You know, maybe that second wash will get most of this stuff going. And I looked at the website. The website does not have any warning about the dark wash. So I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. So I did the same concept with the washing and the hand drying, and these spots got even worse. And not only that, but anywhere there's like a crease line, do you see that? The color is wearing off in a very weird and splotchy way. It almost looks like I've spilled stuff on them, but then you can see in the crease lines where it kind of wrinkles, it's coming off, and it still rubs all over my counters. I tested it. So all that to say, I am going to reach out to the company with this. I'm going to take these to the store because I paid a lot of money for these pants. Even though they were on sale, it didn't matter. They were still well over $50, maybe more. And they're still on the website for, I think, approximately $60 to $70. And I just don't think that is fair. And because I talked about these jeans, I feel like it's my due diligence. I have to come back on here and I have to say, guess what? Buyer beware, this is crazy. And I had to turn around and look at my couch, look at my car. I'm so thankful that I didn't carry any light colored purses while I was wearing these because that's one of the bigger problems is you can ruin things like leather, suede. Obviously, my countertops may have been stained, my couch. I mean, really, this is ridiculous. So buyer beware, once again, not only with these J. Crew Factory ones, but any of the dark wash jeans that you're finding right now. Really ask questions, really look into it. And you may even be able to kind of test them as you're looking at them before you keep them or before you purchase them. I mean, this is not fun, guys. What do jeans have to do with revelations for my channel moving forward? Basically, they have a lot, and I took notes because I wanted to stay on track. So the first thing that I really wanted to talk about was cost versus quality. Now, I'm not here to be doom and gloom, but the reality is things cost a lot more right now. Some of the items I've compared from last year that I wanted to repurchase for gifts are literally double the price. Other items, though, however, have seemed to stay at the same price. And what I have noticed is when I go to stores that really pride themselves on giving you the same price no matter what, where you're going to pay $20 for a sweater, or they're going to have a sale, when you're buying a shirt for 15 or whatever. What I have noticed, and I shop a lot, is that quality has gone down. So basically what I think it is that some of these stores, they need to maintain a certain price point because the public is not going to support high prices at these stores, which have traditionally been really cost friendly. So the only way to keep those costs low is to lower the quality, unfortunately. So it's true, you start noticing things with sweaters are much thinner, the quality of the cotton in cotton t-shirts is paper thin or see-through, the sewing is crooked. I mean, you're gonna start finding a lot of interesting things, especially when you're looking at lower priced items. And it really kind of frustrated me because this was a factory store, so going back to the jeans, it's one of those stores that has that model of everything's always on sale. And yes, I firmly believe never pay full price, but there's a difference. There's some stores that run a good sale once a year, and then there's stores that are always on sale, 30% off next week, 40% off this week. And so you're really getting a lower quality piece of clothing, and you're going to pay the price essentially on that. So what does that have to do with my channel? It has to do with pretty much everything, because when I do hauls, I am, first of all, going to kind of take a step back with a lot of what I'm going to call bargain stores. Am I going to go in them? Yes, absolutely. Am I going to look for deals? Absolutely. This is a sweater that I got at Walmart, not this year, but I believe last year. And I love this sweater. It's comfortable. I wear it all the time. I baby it like I do my higher end items, and it serves me well. So I'm always going to go and look for those gems. But what I am focusing on primarily is quality over quantity. And there's a lot of reasons for that other than the jeans. You may or may not have noticed, but a lot of my videos in the last several months have really been more in store. And they have been positive and negative in the essence of influencing versus de-influencing as well. So some of those changes are going to be permanent, meaning I am going to go in store more often. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. One is I don't trust quality with a lot of these low-end stores, so I really don't trust it if I'm looking at it online. I want to go in store and see what it really is. I also am starting to be wary of a lot of influencing, and I am part of this, and I realize that fully, but I also have been able to take a step back and say, but how can I serve a purpose still without feeling like I am pushing a lot of items that really aren't necessary? And I think that where I can position myself well is to be able to look at it with a different lens. And because I don't often do sponsored videos, I have the freedom to do this. So if I had done a sponsored video, I most likely would not have been able to come back on here and say, guess what? These pants that I loved, I no longer love, and here's why. Because sponsored videos, I'm gonna tangent here for a second, are amazing. They're amazing in the sense that they are the newest form of commercials, and we have to look at it that way. I do not fault anyone who does sponsored videos. I would probably do some more if I felt comfortable with the quality and with whatever the item was. So don't think that I will never do a sponsored video in my life. It's not what I'm saying. It's just that they put a lot of pressure on you, just like a commercial on TV. You are being a paid spokesperson. So if something isn't the best, or you find later that it's really not working, or it's a faulty product, it's much harder to discuss when you've been paid to talk about. So you won't see me actively looking for a lot of sponsorships. That's also why you haven't seen more in the past. I have gotten a lot of very interesting sponsorship videos requests, and many of them are Amazon related because I have a smaller channel. However, I have had a few companies reach out to me in the past that even though they could have been lucrative and you would have recognized some of the names of these companies, I just couldn't do it. I'd never tried the items before. I was worried, and I couldn't do it, guys. So all that being said, I'm really just trying to pay attention to what's worth it, to what's not worth it, and also trying to be mindful of overconsumerism and waste. So I'm going to segue into this really quickly. Is if you're going to do an active haul, I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain for you. If you're going to do a clothing haul, this is how it usually looks. You go online, you look for the latest drops, you start loading your cart up, you have it shipped to your house as quickly as possible. Sometimes that's paid, sometimes that's not, depending on, where you're ordering it from. Then it comes in all these packages, lots of waste. You're ripping it open, you're steaming it, you're doing the whole process, you're filming, doing all of that. And then you have to make a choice after that. Your choice is, do I keep all of these items and start cluttering up my house and my closet? Or do I return the items to my local store or ship them back, which also costs money, time, energy. And I fear that it could mess with your local economy a little bit, because these things that you're ordering online come from everywhere. And then once they get here, say you need to take it back to whatever, store X. Well, then all of a sudden store X has all of this inventory that really wasn't on their stuff, and it's coming through as a return. And now they're having to work through all of that. And it's just extra work for them, extra time, and lots of extra inventory that they now have to deal with. So I really don't think that's fair to the store, especially doing it on a very regular basis. Now, there's also a thing that I've noticed in the last few years too, is that, have you noticed when you see a video, you get excited about an item, and you go to order it, it's sold out already? All right, that's happening to me too. And I believe one of the issues is that more and more and more people are basically treating the clothes the same way that influencers treat the clothes, and maybe there's more and more and more influencers, so they're just like making massive orders, possibly ordering multiples of each item because they want to make sure it fits well so that they can present it well. You get the idea. It's kind of perpetuating that whole FOMO idea, because more and more and more people are just grabbing these things up, and then they're selling out fast, and then you can't get to it anyway. So it's like we're perpetuating our own problem as people making content. We're almost like purchasing up all the items so that whoever watches it doesn't have opportunity to get it. It's kind of a problem. So I really don't want to be a part of that either, because it just isn't healthy, guys. The next concept I wanted to touch on is the idea of fantasy self and what we really wear. So personal experience, when I first started doing some of these hauls, I would try on a dress, let's say, and I'd say, oh, it's amazing, great, I love it. I'd put it in the closet. I kid you not, I still have 3 dresses in my closet with tags still on them from, one of them is like 4 years old. And it was because I purchased it for my fantasy self, meaning I was like, oh, when I go to these beautiful fundraisers and maybe for the next wedding I'm invited to or whatever. And guess what? I don't dress like that on the daily. And so I started to collect items that I was getting into my house. I thought they were amazing, and they're still sitting there. So that was a little bit of a reality check for me. And I started realizing that it doesn't matter if I had 50 sweaters. I'm going to wear probably the same 4 or 5 all winter long. And it was a huge reality check for me. So what I am doing moving forward, and I began doing this really, really thoughtfully last year, is keeping only what I truly, truly can find that are going to fit in my wardrobe and be worn a lot. I am going to be doing in-store hauls a lot more, or in-store try-ons, I should say, so that I'm not even purchasing the items unless I absolutely fall in love with it. And then I'm also going to focus a little bit more on quality versus quantity, meaning like last year, I purposely bought 2 very, very well-made classic sweaters that I knew I would wear and love. And I spent basically my sweater budget or winter clothing budget on those 2 sweaters, knowing that they were going to last me forever. And so I love them. Second winter going into those sweaters, I'm obsessed with them and I wear them all the time. So it's just a matter of really changing your mindset of buying what you're going to use, using it well, spending your money well, and also getting creative. So my basically last point would be creativity. What I plan to do moving forward with my videos is getting more creative with better quality items that I have maybe saved up for or really, really researched out, and trying to use those pieces well, trying to find multifunctional ways to incorporate them into my wardrobe, and hopefully giving inspiration on maybe purchasing a little bit less, really using what we've got well, and being thoughtful with our purchases. I also got that revelation because I recently went to a thrift store. I was on the hunt for some more coffee mugs. And if you don't think overconsumerism and waste is real, you might want to head into your local thrift store, guys. It's wild. All right, all that being said, what can you expect from my channel going forward in 2025? I am still going to attempt to do weekly videos. I will definitely still be doing in-store try-ons. Once in a while, especially if it's like an online only store like Packed, or there's stores that maybe aren't in my local area, so I have to order some pieces online, I will do that. However, I'm going to be a lot more thoughtful with that, and I am going to really try to do my research and focus on quality. So when you do actually see try-ons, please rest assured that I have done my due diligence, and I'm hoping that you can trust me even a little more. You are also going to see what I'm going to just call, because it's a common term right now, de-influencing videos, meaning just like I have done in the past, there are beautiful styled looks that you're going to see online. Well, I see those too, because I'm just as much of a consumer, especially online, as anybody else. Well, what I do though is I'm going to try to do my best to get into those places if I can, find those items or items from those lines, and then really take a hard look at the quality of them and the cost per wear and all of those things, and hopefully deliver some of that information to you so that you don't have to do that work all the time, because it can be exhausting. And I know we're all influenced by things on, especially things like Instagram and YouTube, and we want this new jacket, now this new purse. Well, they're not always cracked up to be the way that you think they are. The other thing that you're going to see from me moving forward is still I'm going to continue with my beauty and hair care, skincare content. However, that is no different than our closets. Our vanities are the same. I am a huge overconsumption person when it comes to beauty, and it got a little bit embarrassing. So I've had to get rid of several things because they just frankly expired. And then moving forward, I'm going to work on in-store try-ons again of those things. You could swatch things and stuff in store oftentimes, or maybe finding that viral item and then swatching it in store, then coming home and trying to recreate it with something I already have, to maybe give you a little bit of insight on colors and shades and textures and stuff you probably already have in your kit that maybe will help you to say, oh, do I need that or not? So we're going to try to save ourselves some money and some time and a little bit of space in our home. Lastly, I'm going to try to be a little bit more creative, meaning if I have this sweater, I'm going to try to keep it for multiple years. No, you may not have access to it, but if I style it creatively, it can kind of just give fun ideas like, oh, I have a cream colored top or sweater similar to that. I think this would go well with those types of pants. You get the idea. So it's just about really creatively using our pieces that we already have, mixing and matching them, maybe having some fun with it, and just really utilizing what we've already got in our closets. All right, that does it for me. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And I just have to take a moment and say, I fully realize that not all of you are going to stay with me through 2025. And that is because many of you have been so supportive and so just positive with me with my hauls, and that you got here maybe because of a lot of Walmart hauls or a Target haul, that type of thing. For that, I will say I still will be shopping those stores. It's just not going to be as often, and you may hear things you may not want to hear as far as liking items or not liking items. And so if you choose to stop following me for that reason, that's okay. And I thank you for your time. And I thank you for the support that you did offer me. And I wish you well. And for the rest of the people that would decide to stay here with me and kind of follow on this creative journey for 2025 to see what we can do to kind of keep some money in our wallets and to use what we have well, then welcome. I'm glad you're here too. And let's just see where it goes. All right, that is the end of this video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe before you go. And I believe I will see you again after Christmas, if not in 2025. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you again for everyone that has watched my videos and is subscribed. I really appreciate you. And until next year, I'll see you soon.